To better introduce to you the simpler and more practical solution that will help us navigate the messiness of life and thrive, not only survive, I would like you to engage with me this experiment. We have a small problem in this experiment that we would like to solve. The problem is to find the 5 sounds. One of these sounds are the music in the back that you will be hearing in the background of this audio file. There will be a piece of music with piano and other instruments. Please count this piece as one sound. There are other sound effects that I would like you to find. So let's listen together. So, ask yourself, how many sounds did you find? Try to name them. Now we will try again, just in case you did not find all the sounds, so you'll be able to find the other sounds that you missed. So I would like you now to relax, breathe deeply, and listen attentively. One more time. So, how was your second attempt? Did you manage to find all the sounds? Write them down. Fantastic. Now, if you manage to find the 5 sounds from your first attempt, commend yourself. You did a great job. If you did not manage to do it at the first attempt and you managed to do it by the second attempt, ask yourself, what allowed you, what helped you to find the 5 sounds? What did you do differently that allowed you to find the sounds in your second attempt? How could you find the sounds? You focused more. What does that mean? To be able to empty your mind, of course, relatively. We will never completely empty our mind. Which means to stop your mind momentarily from taking the lead. You see, if you are more thinking about the results and thinking about more presumptive, you are presuming things. So you will end up very keen of listening to the extent that you can imagine noises that doesn't exist. Or you can focus with something completely different because simply your mind is too occupied with expectations and anticipation. So to stop your mind momentarily from taking the lead, that means to be present with an empty mind that is cleared from anticipations and expectations. Just be there. When you be able to do that, only then you will allow your sensory organ, your ears, to take the lead. So you will not be able to listen to what's truly happening unless you will stop your mind from dragging you to the past or the future, to the past judgments or the future expectations and anticipation. Now to our next experiment. The problem this time is visual, so I would like you to identify the differences between these two pictures. Are you ready? So, did you manage to find all the differences? Good for you. How long did it take you? Did it take you longer than you would like? Of course, like all of us, would you like to be able to notice the differences faster? Because that means that you will react faster. That means that you'll be able to solve problems faster, which will allow you not only to survive, but to thrive, right? So if you manage to see all of them, how did you do that? As we did in the last experiment, this is what you did. You focused more, which means that you relatively emptied your mind, which means that you stopped your mind from taking the lead, as usual, focusing with your mind on the expectations and anticipation. For example, that before actually looking at the details, you are worried that you will not be able to see all of them. So you become too tense, which will force you to skip some of the details at the end. And this is what happens when the mind takes the lead. But you stopped it. Good for you. When you stopped your mind, what happened? You allowed your eyes, a sensory organ, to take the lead. This entire process, what would we call this process? Would we call this process thinking? No. This process is called sensing. It is not thinking. So, you sensed with your eyes first, you received the information with the sensory organ first, then you processed it with your mind. So, what is the conclusion of these two experiments? The conclusion is, to solve a problem, you need to sense more. As more sensing you will be able to do, as more information you will receive from your present experience. Influenced and inspired by Albert Einstein, I captured the solution from my point of view, of course, from my perspective, and as a result of my work, in this statement. We cannot solve problems by using the same level of sensing that we used when we were creating them. So it's all about the level of sensing. As more we sense, as more we are present, as more we are focused, as more you sense your experience, as more information you are absorbing, as more information you have about the experience or about the problem, as easier you will be able to solve it. So, let's challenge this. Let's challenge this concept. Find me a problem that cannot be solved, or at least improved with a higher level of sensing, and share it with me. Send it to me by email or add a comment on this page, and I will gladly respond to you. But for now, I will share with you one of the questions or one of the challenges that kept coming up with my students, which is in relationship. One of my students asked me, I'm having difficulty with my wife. I cannot properly relate to her, and we always have frictions between us. How sensing will change anything? And the simple response was, if you heightened your ability to sense, if you allowed your mind to stop a bit and focus all your senses on listening to her verbally and non-verbally, you will be better informed about her needs, about her challenges, about her messages. And this kind of information will help you and enable you to give the right responses, to aid her, or even to create a healthier boundary between both of you. And that's an example of how a better sensational ability, or better way, as more you increase your ability to sense your experience, as more you will be able to solve problems and overcome challenges.